This is my two favorite librarians. I'm Denise Corey.
I'm Chantel Taylor, and today we're talking about debut novels. Debut.
Debut. You know what the big problem is with the debut novel?
What?
If you read it and you love it,
There's nowhere to go.
there are no other books by that author.
But if you don't read it, then they won't get to write another book.
Yes.
It's a real,
Catch-22.
Schrodinger's cat. No, that's not right.
Schrodinger's cat is both alive and dead.
Yes, but they're both writing or published and unpublished.
So, I have this really great list that I got from BookBub, which is a website. You can just Google that, and I will share this on our social media. It's the 25 best debut novels of 2018.
I looked at that list, yeah, and I was looking at some of the 2019 ones, and I was looking through and I was like, I don't recognize any of these titles. I don't know if I haven't looked through enough sort of ordering catalogs this year to see the titles coming, but I was like, I recognize nothing.
But the 2018 list, I think I'm going to add all of these.
Interesting.
To my list of things to read. So one of them was The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. That was a debut novel last year.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and that's going to be a movie this year, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
It's been optioned
because it's one of those domestic noir.
Yeah, so it's one, and I've read that one. It's one where this woman is like, what's it called when you won't go outside?
Agoraphobic?
Yes. Yeah, so she just hangs out in her house all the time and drinks and spies on the neighbors. And then you find there's this whole backstory, but also she's spying on the neighbors and there might be nefarious things happening next door. It's for a domestic noir, which is not my favorite genre. I did like it.
Okay, interesting. I'm not going to read it.
No. I didn't like how it ended.
You never like the way any book ends.
Yeah, mostly I don't like how books end. Right now, I'm reading another book that was on this list called Baby Teeth by Zoji Stage. And it is creepy. Oh, so creepy.
Oh, interesting.
It's, I'm only a couple chapters in, but the mother is Suzette and the daughter is Hannah. And Hannah is 4 or 5 years old and she doesn't talk, but she is did you ever read that book, We Need to Talk About Kevin?
I've read some of it, yeah. I saw the movie.
So, you're a terrible librarian. So, it's like that, except you get to see inside her head. She is a creepy little child.
Oh.
You're not going to read that one
He
either.
was creepy enough, Kevin.
Yes. Yeah. Kevin had some issues. Some other ones are on here. Debut novel in 2018, The Perfect Nanny.
Oh, I've seen that going around too.
Yeah. Oh, it was a huge big deal. The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory.
Yeah, that is on my list. I had started it and I didn't finish it at the time.
Oh,
but
why?
I don't really remember. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right time frame or I don't know, but I do have it on my list as a potential read.
The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris, which is on my list to read already. It looks
a show on Netflix? If they already made that into a series... No, maybe it's the photographer of... Okay, no, I'm confused. Never mind. Just ignore me.
Okay. I usually do. The Only Child by Rhiannon Navin. That was a big bestseller last year. A Girl Like That by Tanaz Bethina. We read that for our personal book club.
I did not.
You're a terrible librarian.
I don't deny it. I only read what I want to read.
Here's one I know you read. The Kiss Quotient by Helen
That's
Hoang.
on my list. Yes, and I did love it.
Why did you love it?
It was delightfully funny. It was a good romance. I really liked the characters. It was an unusual heroine. She has obsessive compulsive. She's on the spectrum. And her mother's like, it's time for you to get married and have babies. Get on that right now. And she, of course, she's like, I don't like to be kissed and I don't really like to be touched. And so she
kind of hard to have babies.
Yes. And so she hires the hero. He's a sex worker And she hires him to give her love lessons. And she makes out a list, like, foreplay. And I
don't know how much of this we're allowed to talk about.
I'm not going to go much further.
Yeah,
but
we'll stop there.
But it was really delightful, and it was really uncomfortable. She goes in to meet his family at one point, and they're like microwave everything in the plastic, and she's like, I can't eat that, that's poison. And her mother's like, oh no, it's fine. And she's like, you need to throw that away, it's poison. And she like won't eat this like delightful meal that they've just ends in disaster.
There's another one on this list that I want to read. It's called My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyenken Brathwaite. I'm sorry, I don't know the pronunciation. It's a book about a Nigerian woman whose younger sister has as they've listed it here, an inconvenient habit of killing her boyfriends.
That is, not a great habit.
And one of the quotes from the book is, Femi makes 3, 3, and they label you a serial killer. So just that line, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read that. Yeah. But again, so you love that Helen Huang book, and I remember you talking about it last year. And now what do you do? Because there's no more books by her.
She's got another one coming out this year. And
Yay.
I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but it is coming out, I'm pretty sure, in 2019.
Yay.
Yes.
I do have the Kiss Quotient on my list to read.
I actually read it twice. I read it last year, and then like when I was sick in January and I was kind of like not really knitting, I wasn't feeling well, I listened to it again.
Oh yeah?
I enjoyed listening to it.
And who read the audiobook, do you know?
Oh, I can't think of what her name is. It wasn't somebody I recognized.
I'm just putting you on the spot. So, yeah, I'm going to add all of those.
Nice.
I'm just going to add them to my list of things I want to read. And then hopefully by the time I get to it, they'll have other books out. My list of things I want to read is the ones that are actually written down, well over 200 items right now. But I just finished The Space Between Words by Michelle Phoenix.
Was that a book club book?
Yes,
Okay.
that was for my library book club. And it was about this woman. She's in Paris with her friends. They're all Americans. And it's their last night in Paris, and they decide to go see a concert. And it just happens to be November 13th, 2015, which is when there was that terrorist attack in many locations in Paris, and the concert she's at was targeted, and in real life 90 people died at that concert. But in this fictional novel, she survives, and she has PTSD, and to try and get over it, she decides to go on a tour of southern France. And at an antique shop, she finds a treasure, and in the treasure, she finds a manuscript or a written account by a 17th century Huguenot whose family fled France to escape persecution. So it's both her story and the story of this Huguenot family.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's got some dark points.
Because I saw you were reading it the other day. You were annoyed that I was talking to you at lunch while you were trying to finish this book.
And I mostly read it in like 2 days. I tried to read it at lunch one day, but was not able to because somebody kept telling me stories about murder podcasts.
No, it was romance podcasts.
Sure it was.
No, it wasn't murder.
What are you reading?
So I'm rereading, as you're looking at my notes, I am rereading one of my favorites from last year, which is one of the Beard books. So you've just picked up at a library. I'm taking it with me. We're going to visit a friend, and I'm going to lend her the library's copies of these books.
Apparently, we're the only library in Nova Scotia that has the Beard books.
I don't know if it's Nova Scotia. I don't know about Halifax, but I think of the regions, the other regions, it's us. So I'm going to reread it so I can enjoy it along with her. So it's Truth or Beard by Penny Reed, which is the first one in the Winston Brothers.
And we have talked about those many times.
And yeah, I love them. So I just found a new podcast called Heaving Bosoms. And it's my favorite right now. And they love the Winston brothers. And I went back, was looking for books that I recognized to listen. And they were doing book 3, which Cletus is my favorite, I won't lie.
Is that Beard Science?
Yes, yep.
Yeah.
And
see, I even remember the name.
They're so wonderful. And they sort of went on, and I was like, oh, finally someone who understands my love of these Winston brothers.
Yeah, so if you want to listen to that, that's a podcast called Heaving Bosoms.
They call it Winstoning.
I bet you that Chantel will put a link into one of our social medias for it.
I will like repost something from theirs.
Because we're on the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram.
Yes.
And you can find all those handles on our website.
www.cumberlandpubliclibraries.ca.
The other thing you can find on there is the schedule for March break, which starts today.
Yes. So we're probably not crying. Last year at this time, the weather wasn't great. And we had 75 kids show up for our crafternoon. Usually we get like 20-ish. Mm-hmm. We had to move into the library. I had to go down and help move tables. And like poor Fiona, it was her first March break. And she's probably blocked it all out now.
Yeah. So a lot of our things that require sign up are full or very close to full. So call this morning if there's something specific you want to go to. But we do have programs that don't require sign up. So we have some crafternoons happening. We have
a movie.
Shows. There's a movie. Depends on what part of the county you're in. So take a look on our website and you will see all of the things we have planned. And if you think that you want one of your kids to go to a March break thing this week, call right now. Well, at 10 a.m. because
yes, we don't answer the phone.
Not open. So yeah.
What are you reading? Did you already tell me what you're reading?
I did already tell you. I read the whole thing, The Space Between Words.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was your book. I thought that was the debut author.
No, that's like her 8th book.
Okay.
So next week we're going to talk about...
Have you read something because you saw a character on TV mention or read it?
All right. That'll be interesting.
It will be interesting.
See you next week.
Bye.